Gary had a question about exercise for the older athlete, and I think it's a valid question. I've done videos on exercise for heart disease before, and please check them out down below. I'll put some links. If this is the first time you're finding me though, don't forget to subscribe. You might have to read this with your glasses on. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below and then the alert button just to find out when I put new videos out. So what is this thing about older athletes? Well, everyone, if you're an American, should be exercising. And I guess the question is, some of us own businesses, some of us are employees, but you're working 50 to 60 hours a week. I had a guy that came in the other day that's working 70 to 80 hours a week. And that is, you got to do what you have to do to pay the bills or to get and move forward in life. But if you do that at the sacrifice of poor diet, no exercise, even if you're active with what you do at work, I think the objective for exercise is, I like to hear people do exercise outside of work. If you have a stepper or Fitbit and you're counting your steps per day, that's fine. 10,000 steps a day is the minimum. I think that it's nice to get to that goal. If you already hit that goal, but you're still working on weight, you might want to add or project on past that. So if you do that already, great. Somebody has to take a snapshot, whether it's a physician, an athletic trainer, a physical therapist, a life coach. Somebody should take a snapshot and figure out where you are with regards to your exercise routine, and then set goals for you, realistic, and then just shoot for the goals. I always talk about having a summit of some sort with regards to getting to a level of expertise or anti-inflammatory lifestyle, and then you have to reassess, because most of us get bored. Sometimes lofty goals are also very frustrating and demoralizing. So it's always nice to have a carrot, so to speak, to shoot for. So the older athlete though, and I was just looking at this video on YouTube. Hopefully you can see that. That's exercises for the older athlete. And there's a man with gray hair sitting in a chair with old man shoes, and there's no problem with that. It reminds me of my father. And my dad never really exercised before. I think I took him to yoga a couple times after my mom passed away, and I think he was okay with that, but just didn't resonate with him. So I tried to design an exercise routine for my dad that would fit his interests and keep him motivated, and would be easy to sustain. And that's the key here, is sustainability. So Gary, if we have experience with high contact or Taekwondo, for example, anybody that's a black belt, I'll acknowledge that that took some time. I studied Aikido for a long amount of time, but sometimes the exercises that we do when we're younger might not fit us when we're older, especially as you start to accumulate disease. No question, all of us will have some form of disease manifestation. Hopefully it's a little bit, but if you start to have problems at the age of 50 to 60 with aches and pains, with difficulty with sleep, with erection, with hot flashes, with brain fog, those don't necessarily have to be all from stress. They can be accumulated damage. And we try to reverse that as best as possible, but sometimes you have to change the concept of exercise in your head, because it has to fit over the new damage that you've accumulated. For example, if I have somebody that has high blood pressure, heart disease, let's just do it easy. High blood pressure, non-life-threatening, elevated sugar, pre-diabetes or diabetes, and elevated cholesterol. The heart disease is a difficult one, but these three a lot of Americans have. If you get into your 50s and 60s, and unfortunately I'm seeing people in their 40s, but get into your 50s and 60s with these three things, you got to get cleared first. So your doctor should be able to give you the thumbs up. I was going to say thumbs up. This is bad, because if I say you're good, that usually says you're goodbye. But the thumbs up that you can go ahead and exercise, and then you go ahead and do what you have to do. In Chicago, it's springtime now, so everybody's going to start experimenting, and I think that's cool. If you rely on your old knowledge base of exercise and you're an average American, you're going to go back to what you learned in high school. And I'm a late baby boomer. We had some pretty decent gym classes through a variety of different exercises, and a lot of us picked up our interests. Some of us didn't, and again, you're relying on an experiential level that's very limited. So if you kind of are on your own and trying to design something of a new exercise routine that you can keep up on your own outside of work, you might hit the wall fast, and you might get frustrated because it might not, calisthenics when we were in our teens and 20s might not be the right things to do in our 50s and 60s. So it's very important you have somebody design this stuff. So after you get the thumbs up from your doctor, you probably should seek out some guru in your area, a friend, a relative, maybe somebody that's popular in your local town or in your gym. Just getting a personal trainer, you have to be careful. I belong to Planet Fitness, and I've seen the personal trainers that work there. They're pretty good, but again, if they have more of a knowledge base than you, cool. If their knowledge base is just a little bit more than yours, that's two blind people trying to drive a boat. You're not going to get anywhere, or you might get hurt. So sometimes you can get to a sports medicine doctor or a sports medicine based personal trainer. That would be good. Sometimes you can actually hire instructors. You can hire yoga instructors, yoga teachers to design a program for you. Just going into a yoga class, you're not going to get personal training. You can hire a martial artist to design a program for you. Again, going into a general class, they're not going to spend one-on-one with you. You have to hire them specifically for you. If you seek out somebody that has the credentials, then perfect. Sometimes these other places like CrossFit or high-intensity interval training places, Spartan runs also have a nice community where you can join in and meet other people that are interested. Dick Ponds is a local running shop around here. They have walk to run classes where you can just jump in free of charge, kind of walk along and learn techniques, learn about running, learn about the dynamics of what you have to watch out for with regards to shoe picking or how to advance in your speed. So cycling, same thing. So it's really important that you investigate. What I usually like to do is I have somebody try something for 3 weeks. You invest in something for 3 weeks, whether it's your park district, because it's a pay-as-you-go kind of thing, but 3 weeks will give you the amount of time necessary to figure out if this will hurt you, and you'll have one-on-one kind of, and you can also have this short window where you can say, okay, I'm almost done, I'll just keep up with it. So 3 weeks is usually the amount of time when you can see if it's a right fit. But if you divide the summer, that's May, June, July, August, into 3-week blocks, you'll have a nice assortment of different things that you would have experimented with. So just have to be careful, just have to not spend too much money, and just have to do your research beforehand. I think the internet's great with kind of finding your own way, but sometimes, just like this video here, I'm sure it's a good video for centenarians maybe, but I think that I would want my folks to develop an exercise routine that at least moves them 75 to 150 minutes a week. And that's what the American Heart Association recommends. 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise or 75 minutes a week of strenuous exercise. And there are, I'll put the link for the AHA's suggestions. That is a scientific way to design or figure out how much time you have to spend. And that's not too much. 75 minutes of strenuous exercise, you don't just jump into that, you have to build up to it, or else you're gonna get hurt. You're either gonna go too high with your blood pressure, your sugar's gonna drop too low, or you might have a problem with one of your joints. So please be careful doing it on your own, but build up and then maintain. The cool thing about muscle is that if you can get to a level, I'm a bodybuilder from 18 years of age, but I've been able to kind of experiment with exercises that'll maintain me with the least amount of repetitive exercise as possible to maintain a level of cardiovascular fitness and muscle pump. I think there's something about when you get to cardiovascular fitness like a runner, there's a runner's high, endorphin and enkephalin release. When you get to a muscle pump, there's a feeling you get too, just from the muscle being moved. I think it should be used as medicine versus like taking Zoloft for depression. First thing I would do would be try to increase your own serotonin. That's what Zoloft does. Increase your own serotonin naturally with calming practice, with exercise. And then maybe if you're still having symptoms, dive into the medicine. Same thing with the cholesterol. You don't just jump into a statin. Try to exercise, build up your HDL, try to change your nutrition plan, try to decrease inflammation so you don't have such a sticky cholesterol. And then if it doesn't work and you're still having elevation, then you add the medicine. So integrative medicine is nice because we usually have feet in both the traditional and non-traditional worlds of healing. So instead of just going with medicines, you go with lifestyle change. So hopefully this helps, but try to get moving. Don't hurt yourself. Get some knowledge accumulated. Don't just sit in a chair like my friend here, and hopefully this will get you to the next level. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you at the next clinic.